2 years ago, a woman in Florida borrowed her sister's razor. One tiny cut, barely visible. 10 days later, she was in the ICU with a flesh-eating bacteria. She survived. She lost 2 fingers. Last month, a college student borrowed his roommate's charging cable. Not a big deal, right? Within 24 hours, someone had drained his bank account and was applying for credit cards in his name. And here's the one that got me. A dad borrowed his neighbor's car to pick up pizza. Minor fender bender, no injuries. But because of a technicality in the insurance policy, he now owes $47,000. You think borrowing is harmless. It's not. Today, 12 things you should absolutely, positively never borrow. Even from your mother. Even in an emergency. Even if they say, it's fine. Let's go. Number 1, and if you take nothing else from this video, hear this. Never, ever borrow a toothbrush. I know what you're thinking. It's just for one night. I forgot mine on a trip. We're a couple, it's fine. It is not fine. Your mouth is one of the dirtiest places on your body. Not because you're gross, because that's just biology. More than 700 species of bacteria live in the average human mouth. Most are harmless in your own mouth, but someone else's mouth? That's a different story. Here's what actually happens when you borrow a toothbrush. Blood transfer. Even if you don't see blood, your gums bleed microscopically every time you brush, especially if you have even mild gingivitis, and 50% of adults do. That blood gets trapped in the bristles. Then you shove those bristles into your own bleeding gums. Congratulations! You've just performed a direct blood transfusion with your friend. Viruses. Herpes simplex 1, cold sores, can survive on a dry toothbrush for 48 hours. Hepatitis B can live for a week. COVID-19, up to 72 hours on plastic and nylon. HPV. Oral human papillomavirus is linked to throat cancers. It spreads through saliva and blood. A borrowed toothbrush is a vector. Strep and staph. These bacteria colonize toothbrush bristles within seconds of use. One study found that 70% of used toothbrushes from healthy people still grew significant bacteria, including antibiotic-resistant strains. And no, rinsing with hot water doesn't solve it. Dishwasher? Maybe, but you're not going to run your toothbrush through the dishwasher. Boiling water destroys the bristles. Soaking in mouthwash reduces bacteria but doesn't eliminate it. The only safe solution? Keep a spare. Travel toothbrushes cost $1. $1. If you're in a situation where someone offers you their toothbrush, say this. I appreciate it, but I'll just rinse with salt water tonight and buy one in the morning. Your health is not worth saving $1. Number 2, underwear. I shouldn't have to say this. And yet, people borrow underwear. Roommates, siblings. I forgot to do laundry emergencies. Couples who think we already share everything else. Let me be extremely clear. Borrowing underwear is not like borrowing a t-shirt. Your groin is a high-risk zone for fungal, bacterial, and viral infections, and underwear is the perfect delivery system. Here's the science. Fungal infections. Athlete's foot isn't just for feet. The same fungus, Trichophyton rubrum, causes jock itch. It lives on skin cells and thrives in warm, moist environments, like the crotch of underwear that someone else wore for 12 hours. Even after washing, fungal spores can survive, especially if the water wasn't hot enough or the dryer wasn't fully hot. Yeast infections. Candida albicans is easily transferred through fabric. One study found that Candida can survive on cotton fabric for up to 24 hours at room temperature. If you borrow underwear from someone with an active or even recent yeast infection, you're playing a game you will lose. Fecal bacteria. Here's the uncomfortable truth. No one wipes perfectly. Microscopic fecal matter transfers to underwear with every use. That fecal matter contains E. coli, salmonella, and other pathogens. A normal wash cycle reduces, but does not eliminate all bacteria, especially on delicate fabrics washed in cold water. STIs? Unlikely, but not impossible. Pubic lice, crabs, can survive for 24 to 48 hours on fabric. Scabies mites can live for 2 to 3 days. Genital warts, HPV, are less commonly transmitted through fabric, but the virus can survive on surfaces. The psychological boundary. Beyond germs, borrowing underwear is a relationship red flag. Healthy adults have physical boundaries. If someone is comfortable enough to lend or borrow underwear without serious emergency context, that suggests blurred boundaries that often show up elsewhere. The fix is so simple. Keep a spare pair in your car, desk, or gym bag. Buy a 3-pack of cheap underwear for $6 and stash them everywhere. If you're traveling, wash your 1 pair in the sink with soap and hang it overnight. Never borrow, never lend. Throw them away before you share them. Number 3, the razor. This one kills people. Not hyperbole, literally kills them. Remember the woman from Florida I mentioned in the intro? Her name was not released publicly, but her case was documented in the New England Journal of Medicine. She borrowed her sister's razor to shave her legs, made a tiny nick, barely enough to bleed. Within 48 hours, she had a fever and red streaks running up her thigh. The diagnosis? Necrotizing fasciitis, flesh-eating bacteria. She survived. They amputated 2 fingers and debrided, that means cut out, a softball-sized chunk of muscle from her leg. Here's why razors are uniquely dangerous. Microcuts. Every time you shave, you create dozens of microscopic cuts in your skin, even when you can't see or feel them. You're essentially sanding off the top layer of your skin's barrier. Blood-borne pathogens. Those microcuts bleed. A tiny amount, but enough. If the previous user had any blood-borne virus, hepatitis B, survives on dry surfaces for 7+ days, hepatitis C, survives 3 days to several weeks, or even HIV, theoretically possible, though lower risk, that virus is now on the blade. Staphylococcus aureus. This bacteria lives on about 30% of people's skin with no symptoms, but if it gets into a microcut from a borrowed razor, you get a staph infection. If it's MRSA, methicillin-resistant Staph aureus, about 2% of people carry it, you're looking at a potential hospitalization. Pseudomonas. This bacteria causes hot tub folliculitis, those red, itchy bumps you get after a dirty hot tub. On a razor, it transfers directly into your hair follicles. And no, cleaning the razor under hot water doesn't work. Neither does rubbing alcohol, unless you soak it completely for several minutes. And who does that? Disposable razors are worse than safety razors. The multi-blade cartridges trap dead skin, bacteria, and moisture between the blades. That's a petri dish with sharp edges. The rule? Your razor touches your skin exactly once. Your own skin. Don't share with spouses, don't share with kids. Don't use a hotel's community razor. Yes, some hotels used to offer these. Don't take your friend's barely used razor. If you forget yours, buy a disposable at any convenience store. They're $2. $2 is cheaper than a flesh-eating bacteria infection. Number 4, earbuds and in-ear headphones. This one surprises people because it feels so innocent. Hey, can I listen to one song? Let me hear that voice memo. I forgot my AirPods. Can I use yours for the flight? The answer is no. And here's why your ears are more disgusting than you think. The wax problem. Earwax, cerumen, isn't just wax. It's a mixture of dead skin cells, hair, and secretions from 2 different glands. Your specific earwax has your unique microbiome of bacteria and fungi. When you borrow earbuds, you're taking someone else's microbiome and shoving it into your ear canal. Otitis externa, swimmer's ear. This is an infection of the outer ear canal caused by bacteria like Pseudomonas aeruginosa or Staphylococcus aureus. Shared earbuds are one of the most common non-water-related transmission methods. Symptoms: itching, pain, discharge, temporary hearing loss. Treatment: antibiotic eardrops. Prevention: don't share earbuds. Fungal ear infections. Aspergillus and Candida love warm, dark, moist places, like the inside of earbuds that were just in someone's ear. Fungal ear infections are harder to treat than bacterial ones. Think weeks of antifungal drops and potential debridement by a doctor. Staph transmission. Methicillin-resistant Staph aureus, MRSA, colonizes the ear canal in a small percentage of people. Earbuds pick it up. Then you put it in your ear. If you have any tiny scratch in your ear canal, from a fingernail or aggressive cleaning, you now have MRSA in an area close to your brain. The phone sanitizer lie. Wiping earbuds with an alcohol wipe reduces bacteria, but does not eliminate it. The porous materials in foam or silicone ear tips trap bacteria below the surface. The only safe way to share is to replace the ear tips completely, and no one does that. Over-ear headphones are safer, but not safe. The ear cups still collect sweat, skin cells, and bacteria. Acne mechanica, headphone acne, is a real condition from shared headphones. The rule? Your ears, your earbuds. If someone needs to hear something, play it out loud or screen share. And if you absolutely must share, studio work, etc., use single-use foam covers and disinfect with 70% isopropyl alcohol between users. But for daily life, never borrow, never lend. Number 5, the car. Borrowing a car seems so normal. Can I take your truck to move a couch? My car's in the shop. Can I borrow yours for the day? I'll just take Mom's car to the store. Every time you hand over your keys, you are handing over your financial future. And most people don't understand how badly this can go. Scenario 1, a minor accident. Your friend borrows your car. They're a good driver, but someone else runs a red light and T-bones them. Your friend is fine. The other driver is at fault. No problem, right? Wrong. Your insurance policy follows the car, not the driver. That means your insurance pays first. Even if the other driver is at fault, your insurance handles the claim and then subrogates, tries to get the money back from the other insurance. In the meantime, your rates go up. Why? Because your insurance company has now paid a claim on your policy. Statistically, you are now a higher risk because cars you're associated with get into accidents. Rate increase average after one not-at-fault accident with a borrowed driver. 15 to 25% for 3 years. Scenario 2. Your friend is at fault. Now, it's worse. Your friend rear-ends someone. Your insurance pays for the other car, the other person's medical bills, and, if your policy limits are high enough, potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars. Your rates skyrocket, 40 to 60% increase, or your policy is simply non-renewed. But here's the nightmare scenario. Your friend has low insurance or no insurance on their own. They cause an accident with serious injuries. The damages exceed your policy limits. The injured party sues, not just your friend, but you, the car owner. Because in most states, the registered owner has vicarious liability for anyone they allow to drive their car. You can lose your house, your savings, your future wages. Real case. In 2018, a woman in Texas lent her car to her brother. He fell asleep at the wheel and hit a minivan. 3 people were seriously injured. Scenario 3, a ticket or crime. Your friend runs a red light camera. The ticket goes to you, the registered owner. You can try to transfer it to them, but if they don't pay, you're on the hook. Worse, your friend has drugs in the car and gets pulled over. The car is searched. Even if the drugs aren't yours, the car can be impounded. In some states, civil asset forfeiture allows police to seize the car if they believe it was involved in drug activity, even if you didn't know. The rule? If you lend your car, lend your insurance, your credit, your legal exposure, and your peace of mind. Don't do it. The only exception? Immediate family living in your household who are named on your policy. Everyone else? I'm sorry, I can't lend my car, but I can drive you. Number 6, passwords. It's just Netflix. It's just my Disney Plus password. It's just my Wi-Fi. That's how it starts. And then one day, it's not just Netflix. Let me tell you about a client I worked with. Let's call her Sarah. Sarah shared her Hulu password with her college roommate. No big deal. Then the roommate shared it with her boyfriend. The boyfriend used the same email and password combination to try logging into Sarah's email. It worked, because Sarah reused passwords. The boyfriend didn't do anything malicious, he just looked around. But his roommate's little brother, a teenager with too much time, figured out the pattern. He got into Sarah's Amazon account, bought $3,000 worth of electronics, then her PayPal, then her bank's password reset. By the time Sarah figured it out, she had lost $8,000 and spent 60 hours on the phone with fraud departments. All because she shared a streaming password. The real risk isn't the person you share with, it's everyone they share with. Here's how password borrowing breaks down. Credential stuffing. Most people reuse passwords. Security studies show the average person uses the same password across 14 different accounts. When you give someone your Netflix password, you're giving them your banking password. They just don't know it yet. But if they get hacked, or if they store passwords insecurely, that combination gets out. Phishing multiplier. Let's say you give your mom your email password just to check something. Mom gets a phishing email that looks like it's from you. She clicks. Now the attacker has your password. And because you reuse passwords, they have everything. Workplace nightmare. Never, ever share work passwords. Even with your assistant. Even with your coworker who needs access. Every corporate data breach investigation starts with password logs. If you shared your password and someone else caused a breach, you're not just fired, you're potentially liable. Password managers solve this. A password manager lets you share specific logins without revealing the actual password. LastPass, 1Password, Bitwarden, all have secure sharing features. The rule? Your passwords are like your toothbrush, personal, unshareable, and dangerous to lend. If someone needs access to an account, use a password manager's secure share or create a guest login. Never type your password on someone else's device. Never text it. Never email it. Number 7, prescription medication. This one seems obvious, and yet, every day people borrow prescription meds. I have a headache, can I have one of your painkillers? My antibiotic looks just like that, can I just take yours? I have the same thing, your inhaler will work for me. No, no, no. Here's what can happen when you borrow someone else's prescription. Allergic reaction. You don't know if you're allergic to a medication until you take it. 10% of the population has a penicillin allergy. Some reactions are mild rashes. Some are anaphylaxis. Throat closes, can't breathe, dead in minutes. You borrow your friend's amoxicillin for a sore throat. You go into anaphylaxis in your bathroom alone. You're dead before the ambulance arrives. Dosing differences. Your friend's 10 milligram blood pressure pill is prescribed for their specific weight, kidney function, and other medications. For you, that same pill could drop your blood pressure so low that you faint, fall, and crack your head on the corner of a table. Drug interactions. You're on an SSRI antidepressant. You borrow a friend's triptan migraine medication. Together, those drugs can cause serotonin syndrome, agitation, confusion, rapid heart rate, seizures, death. You didn't know. Your friend didn't know. Pharmacists spend years learning these interactions. Masking serious illness. You borrow a friend's painkiller for your bad headache. That headache is actually a brain aneurysm slowly leaking. The painkiller masks the symptom while the aneurysm grows. By the time the pain breaks through, it's too late. Wrong medication for the wrong condition. Viral infection? Antibiotics do nothing. But they can cause C. diff colitis, a severe, sometimes fatal bowel infection. Fungal infection? Taking a friend's antibiotic makes it worse. Your acne is actually staph? Taking leftover acne medication does nothing, while the staph spreads to your bloodstream. Legal consequences. Borrowing prescription medication is a crime in every U.S. state. It's considered illegal possession of a controlled substance if the medication is a controlled substance. Opioids, benzodiazepines, stimulants, even non-controlled prescriptions. It's still illegal to take medication prescribed to someone else. The rule: if you need medication, see a doctor. If you can't afford a doctor, use a telehealth service, $30 to $50. If you have leftover medication from a previous prescription, do not take it without a doctor's approval. Your condition may have changed. Never borrow, never lend. Flush nothing. Use a medication take-back program. But that's another video. Number 8. Nail clippers, cuticle nippers, and any metal tool that touches the area around your nails. This is one of the most overlooked infection risks in everyday life. People share nail clippers like they share a stapler. Can I borrow your clippers real quick? Sure, they're in the drawer. Stop. Here's why nail tools are surprisingly dangerous. Periungual tissue. The skin around your nails, the cuticle and nail folds, is extremely vascular and often has invisible tears. Nail biters have even more micro tears. When you use nail clippers, you're pressing metal against that fragile tissue. Blood exposure. Nail clippers cause microabrasions and sometimes visible bleeding, especially if you cut too close or have ingrown nails. That blood stays on the clipper blades. HPV transmission. Human papillomavirus causes periungual warts, warts that grow around and under your nails. They're painful, ugly, and notoriously difficult to treat. You can get them by using nail tools contaminated with HPV from someone else. One study found that 30% of people have HPV on their hands without visible warts. Fungal paradise. Toenail fungus, onychomycosis, affects 10 to 15% of adults. The fungus lives in nail clippings and on the blades. Borrow someone's toenail clippers? You just inoculated your own nails with their fungus. Now you have yellow, thick, crumbling toenails for the next year while you try to treat it. And treatment is expensive and often ineffective. Staph and strep. A simple hangnail cut that gets contaminated with staph from shared clippers can turn into paronychia. a painful infection of the nail fold. Severe cases require incision and drainage by a doctor. Extreme cases, in diabetic or immunocompromised people, lead to osteomyelitis, bone infection, and amputation. Hepatitis C. Yes, hepatitis C can survive on metal surfaces at room temperature for up to 6 weeks. Transmission via shared nail tools is rare but documented in case reports, especially in settings like nail salons with inadequate sterilization. The professional standard. Nail salons use medical-grade autoclaves to sterilize metal tools. They don't just wipe them with alcohol. They don't just rinse them. The rule: your nail tools are yours alone. Period. Write your name on them. If someone asks to borrow them, say, "I'm sorry, I have a thing about germs." If you're traveling and forgot yours, file your nails with a disposable emery board instead of clipping. And if you borrow someone's clippers, you might as well borrow their blood. Number 9, lint rollers and hairbrushes. You're probably thinking, come on, a lint roller? That's absurd. It's not. Let me explain, and you will never look at a shared lint roller the same way again. Lint rollers are skin cell harvesters. Here's what happens when you use a lint roller on your clothes. You roll it over your back, your arms, your chest. You're picking up lint, pet hair, and dead skin cells. Thousands of them. Millions if it's been a while. Those dead skin cells are coded in your unique skin microbiome: bacteria, fungi, viruses. Now you hand that lint roller to your friend. They roll it over their clothes. Those skin cells, your skin cells, are now pressed into their clothes, and vice versa. If you have a staph colonization, 30% of people do, asymptomatic, you just transferred it to their shirt. If they have a skin abrasion or pimple, that staph can colonize them. But the real problem is hairbrushes. Hairbrushes are mobile ecosystems. Every stroke of the brush collects dead skin cells, dandruff, seborrheic dermatitis flakes, hair, obviously, sebum, scalp oil, a perfect bacterial growth medium, fungal spores, including those that cause ringworm, lice, obviously, but also lice eggs that aren't visible. Ringworm of the scalp, Tinea capitis, is a fungal infection that causes scaling, bald patches, and inflamed sores. It spreads almost exclusively through shared hair tools. Children get it from sharing brushes at school. Adults get it from hotel hairbrushes or borrowing from friends. Folliculitis. Bacteria from shared brushes gets pushed into your hair follicles, causing red, itchy, painful bumps that look like acne. Treatment requires topical or oral antibiotics. Pseudomonas folliculitis, hot tub rash. Same bacteria, shampooed directly into your follicles via a borrowed brush. Lice. Adult lice are visible. Nits, eggs, are not. They're tiny, translucent, and glued to hair shafts. A borrowed brush can transfer nits even if you don't see an adult louse. Then they hatch on your head. Congratulations. The lint roller problem is worse in gyms. Public lint rollers at gyms, for removing chalk or hair before using equipment, are nightmare devices. They get used by dozens of people, each adding their skin cells, sweat, and bacteria. The rule? Your hairbrush is yours. Your lint roller is yours. If someone asks to borrow either, say, "I've got a scalp condition. You don't want it." Even if you don't. Travel with mini versions, and never, ever use a public lint roller.